Hi, this is Derek.
And this is Andy.
Today we're going to be taking a quick look at one of our gameplay demos for Devastation. We're going to look at the mining town of Molsha, and just to give some context of what's going on in the game at this point. A little bit of background first. Anik is the continent on which this game takes place, and for the past 600 or 700 years they have been fighting against what they call roots. These roots are pretty much like normal tree roots, except they are much larger and much more murderous. So these things basically are starting to envelop all of the surface of Onyx at this point in the game, and they more or less just wreak havoc wherever they go. They kind of just spring up out of the ground randomly, and they basically just destroy stuff. So we'll go ahead and just walk through and show the devastation that has been wrought up on this small town. And again, this attack in the game itself happened about a day ago. So that's our basically our protagonist and his friends have just arrived here to try to find survivors and to try to salvage what they can of this town. So essentially, yeah, you can see the roots right here. And the thing about them is once they kind of attack, they kind of go dormant. So it's safe to be here at this point. Well, not entirely safe, as we'll see for other reasons. But also, as you can see, the roots have kind of blocked off a lot of major paths through the village itself. But of course, since we designed the game, we're going to get around that.
And by doing so, we're just basically going to go to the cellar of the pub in Molsha. Here, they just kind of obviously store the foodstuffs, the beer, the wine. It's also where they cook their food. Here you can see all their little storage, and here you can see they also apparently store potions, which is quite convenient for a party about to go into battle. But we'll go up top here, and you'll just see the top of the pub. This is where the people spend most of their days in Molsha after a hard day's work of mining. We'll go back out here, and you can see we've basically circumvented the roots here.
So so now we're on top here, and the other thing about the roots, as you can see, kind of in the distance, there's that cute little fella walking around over there. And he's actually what is known as a root soul. There are different variants of root souls. Oh man, he's staring you down.
He's ready
Look at
to
him.
go.
Oh, he's just kidding.
Yeah.
He can't. His vision's bad. Uh, but anyway, he's pretty much just going to walk around there. But the root souls, getting back to that, are basically combinations of this root material and corpses. So the roots kind of come in, screw everything up, and they leave in their wake these kind of deformed, homicidal, mindless creatures that are kind of just roaming around. It's basically the survivors of Molsha that have been transformed into these different creatures. And then you can see the enemies in this game, basically the behavior patterns. There are different ones, but like this guy here, he's just going to chase you all day, very slowly. In fact, he's a little he's not sure of his own abilities. But
We'll go ahead and get in the battle here, and
yeah, we'll give him what he wants, I guess. So as you can see, now we're going to transition into the actual battle screen. Okay, so if you watched the previous video, like I know all of you did multiple times, yeah, right. We're going to basically go over what's changed in the battle system since the last time we showed a video of it. So basically, we have up here, this is one of the biggest differences. We have the turn order shown up here. Before there was always a turn order, but you couldn't really see what it was. So in this case, you can see who is going to act and when they are going to act. And Bodum is the fastest character. He has the highest speed attribute, so he will get to go first. And of course, the goal, as it always is to just kill the enemies. So we'll just jump right into that. We'll go ahead and get Bodum up into position. And he still has some of the skills from before, but he also has another skill, which is pretty interesting, called lunge. Um, as you can see, it's a line, basically, and it will put Bodum in the position of his target. So he'll basically lunge towards them. So we'll go ahead and use that just to close this gap here because we wouldn't be able to attack him normally. And when you see we use this, basically the order shifts. Bodum goes to the end, and now it's Morok's turn, so we see that he shifts up to the first position here. You also notice that with lunge, that ability has a charge, what we're calling a charge counter of 1-3. So that means that in 3 turns from now, or actually 2, since you gain a charge automatically by using the ability, but in 2 turns from now, Bodum will execute that ability on the target, which is that guy over there. So with Morok here, again, we haven't really changed him too much. And he can't really do anything from this range. We do have this shockwave skill, but it is it's kind of broken right now, so we're not really going to show that. But we'll just have him defend. And then we're going to have this ghoul act. And again, we still don't have AI. We've decided that's probably the point where we're going to stop working on this altogether. No, that's not true. But so we're still controlling the enemies at this point, so that's... And let's see, he can't really do anything either. He has 1 skill, but it is a single target, short range skill. He doesn't have any targets, so he can't use it. Thus, he can't really do anything, so he's just going to defend. Now, the thing about this is whenever he ends his turn, we can see that lunge is at 2 of 3, which means that next turn the lunge will execute on this charming little fella right here. So anyway, we're just going to have this guy defend, and we see the lunge execute there, and it hits him. Does some damage, and then it disappears from this the bar up here. So basically, we're gonna have the enemy come in and just kind of attack as well. Actually, we'll just have him use pulverize. And here's the new character that we've added. He's called Apolith. For whatever reason, he perpetually has his mouth agape. I don't really know why, but it's intimidation, perhaps. Yeah. We don't know.
If you've ever seen Little Giants, you'll understand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is his favorite movie. Now he is a little wonky. We haven't quite figured out what. Yeah, see, he's kind of twitchy. I don't know if he's just.
He's excited.
Yeah, he's excited. We don't know what his deal is yet, but we'll figure it out. But anyway, for all intents and purposes, he's pretty much set up. Now he's what we call a tank, and in typical RPG terms, his job is to basically soak up damage. But again, he can't really do anything from this range, so we're just going to have him defend. And then, so here's something interesting, just to point out that this pulverize ability will happen on the next turn, but it will only happen if there is actually a target in range. So if we take Bodum here and we actually move him away from this ghoul, that ability will fail, and you'll actually see that written up here once that happens. But anyway, we'll go ahead and end his turn for now. And the cool thing is about that we can actually just jump back on this enemy from this range by using lunge again. So we'll go ahead and show that. So you see pulverize fails there because there is no target. And the other crucial aspect of the battle system is basically the idea of comboing. And what that means is that successive attacks against the same enemy do increasingly higher amounts of damage. So for instance, if we look at what Morok has here, he basically has spin kick. That's pretty much what he does. He kicks people. That's his thing.
He can heal people.
Yeah,
but mostly he
can.
Just likes to kick.
Kicking that's just his calling in life, I guess. But anyway, we'll set that up so that spin kick is his the skill that he executes. And you'll see what will happen here basically is that Bodum will lunge, and then spin kick will execute immediately after that. So we're just going to show that. And you can see it does increase damage to this ghoul here because he was attacked twice in a row. And again, if you have more characters attacking, you can get all 3 of them in on it. And that's kind of the key to the game, really, is taking advantage of that fact. And of course the enemies can do that as well, which we will have them do. So I have this guy get into position back here, and we will use Pulverize, which does quite a bit of damage on its own, but when it's comboed, obviously it does even more. So we'll go ahead and have these guys set up to do that. And again, since Bodum doesn't get a chance to move this turn, and Pulverize will happen next turn, there's nothing Bodum can really do to avoid getting hit here. But we'll go ahead and have Apolith come in anyway, and go ahead and just
Save his life.
bop that. Oh, well, okay, that actually killed him. All right, I didn't notice that was going to happen. All right, I lied. There was something we could do in that case. But the interesting thing about that is since that ghoul didn't get to use his ability, it didn't increase the charge counter at all. So this other ghoul also did not get to use his ability. Thus, we can basically do, again, if that it's kind of confusing, but once you mess with it for a while, you kind of get the hang of how it works exactly. But again, we can pretty much do the same thing with Bodum as we did before. We can have him lunge in, and the ghoul, the Pulverize will fail again. Now, granted, keep in mind, even when the ability fails, the charge counters still get increased for other characters. So we see Bodum is actually at 2 of 3 here. So let's see. Let's just punch him. Why not? Kind of off to the side there. Okay, so the ghoul again. He gets to act. It's actually, this was not how we meant to set this battle up, but whatever. We're gonna go with it. And he's not really going to do anything. We'll just have him kind of come in and actually we can set up
one last.
Yeah, but the thing about this is we're actually probably going to kill this ghoul before the full thing goes off, but whatever. We'll show it anyway. And bam, dead. All right, so that concludes the first battle, and of course we have a couple other ones we want to show as well. And we'll kind of explain more of the details of how you're supposed to utilize the combos and all that stuff as we progress. But anyway, you can see that we killed that guy. He's no longer there.
So if we wanted to, we could come over here and explore further. I know because I created the level, there are no items to be had. But later on, you may be able to go into the inn here. Maybe if you go around the back, there might be some ale to be had, and everyone knows you fight a little better with some ale in the system.
Or worse, I guess.
Or worse. You think you're doing better. We'll come back here and check out the blacksmith, and we're going to feign surprise. When that happens...
Yeah, we didn't... That was not set up like that at all. So again... The enemy behavior for that particular enemy is different. It doesn't really roam around. However, it will still attack you whenever you come into range.
And you'll see here, these are not necessarily humans that have been turned by
Exactly.
the roots.
So the roots are indiscriminate against who they really transform. It doesn't have to necessarily be a human. Although I don't really know what these dudes. I guess we'll say that they were spiders, 6-legged spiders.
You'll also see our party has been completely healed of both HP and SP. That is not going to be the final way that happens.
Yeah, so basically they would keep any damage that they took from battle to battle, and you would have to heal them either outside of battle or within the battle itself. But we don't have that going quite yet. But anyway, and for this, the way this is kind of set up, again, we don't have all the skills implemented, and we don't have there are a lot of things that are still lacking. But we'll go ahead and use lunge again, and let's get him up there. So these little dudes are not really a threat at all. They have pretty pitiful attack ranges, so they can't even really hit you at this point. But anyway, we'll defend, and you see Bodum lunges. And we'll go ahead and have him. Has an ability called Injection. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage. However, it does have a chance of poisoning you.
Which it 100% will not
do. Yeah, at this point, it will poison you one day, maybe, but at this point, it doesn't do anything other than damage. So again, we'll get Apolith in there, and he's not going to do anything either except jitter around a little bit. So you can see that injection happened. Just, again, did some piss poor damage there, not really much. And we'll go ahead and get behind this dude, backstab him.
I don't know if you're going to get close enough. Yeah, you are.
Oh, we're going to get close enough.
Oh.
There we go.
There we go.
Got that blood. Get that M rating that we want to get.
Want so much. Kids play M rating more than T rating, so that's
exactly, and that's what we're. But yeah, I'm not even going to talk anymore about that. But anyway, we'll have this guy come over. We'll just have him attack. Why not? And Apolith is going to use bludgeon. We'll try to set up some kind of combo on this dude just to kill him in one kind of fell swoop there. And Morak come in. Have him do what he's good at. And bam. So Morak wasn't even necessary there. So we've taken those dudes out.
And you'll see here, we're just going to look around. Going to find some iron for our crafting system that may or may not one day make it into the game. And then we're just going to continue to explore here. There's still plenty of areas left to look around. You'll see here we have houses on fire. The roots can, in fact, do quite a bit of damage.
I think that was probably just someone fell asleep with a cigarette in their mouth and
drew the roots to the town.
They're big tobacco fiends. Let me see this charming little fella here.
We call him the Ripper. And just because I like pulling him away. You can't actually run away from these creatures, or you don't even have to fight them to get behind them. A lot of them are kind of slow and can be juked.
Yeah, and we wanted to make that kind of a big part of this as well, is that you could choose, which fights you actually want to get involved in. But again, this is Ripper's actually a little bit more dangerous than the other enemies, but we only put one in there because we're lazy. Oh, so let's do the old pattern, yeah.
Now here's where it gets dangerous. He's quick and he's powerful.
So we basically, we'll go ahead and set him up to use Devastate, and you see it has a charge of 1/4. It's a little longer than the other ones just because to compensate for the amount of damage that it will end up doing. And the interesting thing about this is we can actually bring Morak in and go ahead and select Chakra, and like before, that pretty much does the same thing. It'll heal himself as well as characters in his vicinity. So we'll go ahead and use that, and actually I don't think, never mind, I'm wrong about that. I don't think that will actually work out.
It will actually go off before the
again, this confuses even us sometimes, but the idea there was to use Chakra after the Devastate went off, but since Chakra has a charge of 1/2, it's not going to happen. So we'll actually just have him defend, hit him, and then, why can't you move further, little buddy? Actually, you can't hit him.
No,
okay.
No.
So anyway, he's just going to sit there and not do much of anything. Again, we could have tuned some of these stats better, but we did not. All right, so he's just going to defend, and then the next turn, Ripper's going to do what he does. And you can see that does quite a significant amount of damage. So if Bodum takes another one of those, he's going to be possibly dead. And then, of course, he's not close enough to hit anybody either. We'll go ahead and use Resolve just to show it. The idea here is that this ability would increase Apolith's defense by a certain amount. Of course, it doesn't actually do that right now, but one day, like everything else. And, of course, it also gives him 5 HP healed back for some strange reason. Not really figured out. Okay, so anyway, we'll come behind the Ripper, and we pretty much want to take him out first just because he is much more dangerous. And ideally, with enemy AI, they would, the enemy would know that he's getting ready to get backstabbed. So he would probably move away, and let's just do it anyway because we'll cause Bodum to miss his attack. So he'd basically move away and just use this on somebody else. And you see that Bodum's attack didn't even execute. But we can use that to our advantage as well. We can just move away from him, and he's going to miss us when he goes to use his ability too. And again, with other enemies, we'll have much longer ranges, so that it might not be possible to run away from them. Let's just have this guy. And you can see the Devastate has already went off, but didn't hit anybody. And here we can actually probably combo this guy and do quite a bit of damage. So we're going to start off with Bludgeon, since that does quite a bit.
Gonna move away, bro.
You can't move away.
Oh, you're right. I thought for some reason he was before.
You don't know what you're...
Warrock.
You don't even know. Sorry. Andy and I love each other, by the way. And again, it doesn't actually kill him yet, but he's hurting. So just have him do his normal attack.
Defend.
Yeah, why not? We'll just let these guys duke it out over here. And actually, a regular attack is probably enough to...
Yeah, especially from old
There
Aboleth.
we go.
He's got some power.
He's got some upper arm strength.
It's the garb.
Yeah,
It's the teeth.
it's actually the skirt.
Look at his teeth. Zoom in there. Look at that man's teeth. Look at him. He's growling.
He has really nice teeth for
Back then.
what I assume they didn't really have
Great
good dental
hygiene,
capabilities.
yeah.
Yeah.
Finish off that spider. That stalker, if you will.
All right, if you say so. Oh yeah. His attack animation's a little wonky. We don't really know what's going on with that. He had like a hip replacement or something. It's not quite
He
right.
favors it.
Yeah. There we go.
And another battle down.
Okay, so and that's most of the areas that we wanted to show off. We can walk over and see that.
This area is clear. There could have been some items, but there are not. Make a good little maze in there to kind of navigate to get to a hidden chest or something. But instead, we'll just go on through the level. You'll see here, Bodum was not lit. It's my wonderful light probe placement. And you'll see our little mini boss up here. Call him the Dweller. Just waiting up there, knowing that our curiosity will get the best of us. Doesn't even have to chase us.
That isn't like it really isn't even something you should be curious about. It's pretty obvious that you shouldn't.
I'm curious, that's for sure. And let's finish this one up.
There's so many things I could have said to that if this wasn't
Being recorded.
exactly. Okay, so anyway, it's just him versus us at this point. We didn't want to add any other enemies in. This guy actually has quite a bit of HP, and he does quite a bit of damage as well, and we'll show that off. So basically, we'll go ahead and lunge on him. I know, it's surprising that that's what we're going to do. So we'll go ahead and just... I'm not really sure what to do with him. We'll just have him sit there. And same with old Aboleth. His very exaggerated hit animation. So the thing about the Dweller, and this is kind of his gimmick, is that he has an ability that does a crap ton of damage, and it also has a really large area of effect. Honestly, you'd think that would just kill Bodum straight up, just walking over him like that. Yeah. Let's see, where can we get this guy? Will he fit?
Right there.
Yeah,
There
squeeze
you
in
go.
there, buddy. Okay. It's causing some... Yeah, let's move over here. Nobody saw that.
Look at Bodum. Bodum is one with the Dweller.
Yeah. Okay, but anyway, so we're going to go ahead and use Smash. And the thing about Smash is it does, like I said, a lot of damage, but it also has a charge of 1/5. And which means that the characters will have adequate time to get out of that if that's what we were going to do. But instead, we're just going to take it because we don't care. So let's see. We'll go ahead and slash. And see, the interesting thing is, even though he's going to do that, I mean, we'll still be able to get off. Yeah, actually, I screwed that up, so we're not going to be able to do as much as I thought.
He should have lunged.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then, as you can see, it does quite a substantial amount of damage, so we really don't want to get hit by that again. Let's see. I'll just bludgeon him. And who wants this? Eeny, meeny, miny. Let's if we attack Bodum, he'll probably die, so let's just give Morok some. And why can I not? I'm not close enough.
I'm assuming you're not close enough. Yeah.
I wonder if I can actually get close enough here. There we go. I guess that's his back. It's like his thorax or something. As you can see, yeah, that hurt him quite a bit, actually.
Yeah,
and just because, yeah, that's right. Just because we haven't shown it yet, we'll go ahead and have Morok heal.
And he'll defend. Or you'll probably kill him. Don't risk it, bro. There you go.
Let's do it. Honestly, that should just kill him.
Right now, probably.
But,
Nope.
oh. I thought he psyched us out. All right.
Oh yeah, kill Morok. He just healed them all.
It's not gonna kill him,
but he'll regret that heal.
As if you couldn't tell, we've played this way too many times already.
Yeah, we know the stats.
So let's see.
Finish him off. There you go, and we killed him.
Okay, so that's actually pretty much it. You can see, you know, the rest of the town beyond, which you'll be able to explore as we open up more of this and develop more of it.
Also, you'll see the statue is it's a heck of a thing there. I like to talk about the Molsha people. They're very proud. They've come across a lot of wealth because of their mining, and this wealth has actually allowed them to kind of stay independent of the I don't want to say global politics so much as continental politics, and they're not really under the sway of a lot of any of the other major powers on the continent, and they've gotten very proud about it, and they're very they like to show off all they can do with their mining prowess, as you can see here.
Yeah, I mean, look what happened to him.
Yeah.
Son, hubris.
Mm-hmm.
It's a killer. It's the #1 killer.
Maybe that's what draws in the roots. It's the #1 killer of teenagers between the ages of 14 and 19.
But anyway, that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, and
stay tuned for more.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll get another video out that shows quite a bit more.